Let's go to MSG. Celtics visiting the Knicks. Jason Tatum returning to Madison Square Garden for the first time since his Achilles injury in the playoffs last season. We're going to skip to the third quarter where Peyton Pritchard finds Jason Tatum, who hits a three in the corner. Celtics got the lead to 10. Then, this guy, Peyton Pritchard, was on fire in this one. Pritchard cuts the lead to 3, and then the Knicks here are up 1, and watch who does it again. Pritchard from deep. Celtics take the lead late in the third quarter. Jalen Brunson wouldn't go away. Brunson leans in, goes into Baylor Shireman, and hits that jumper. The game is tied. And I mentioned that name, Baylor Shireman, because he didn't miss last night. He was absolutely incredible and kept the Celtics in this one late. We go early fourth quarter. Watch Tatum. Remember, the Achilles injury, so devastating last year in the playoffs. He would score 24 last night as the Celtics took a 7-point lead after that made free throw. Down 2, it's Towns from way deep, then wide open 3. But who is that? 55, get used to it. Baylor Shireman again, 6 for 7 from 3. Knicks down 1, Hart. Knicks up 1. 48 seconds left. Look at the score. The Knicks are up 2. Who do you go to for the three-point shot? Don't expect it, but it's Josh Hart. And then he wasn't done. One more. Nail in the coffin. Josh Hart with the deep 3. It was the Josh Hart game. Our guy, Alan Hahn, caught up with him after a 26-point performance.
You've always talked about how when teams are going to leave you open, you have to make them pay. Is this something you've just been working on all season?
Yeah, Joe and Pete, I've been working with them shooting every day. The first half I was ass. So I had, the second half I knew I had to bring it.
All right, well, this is the last game of the regular season against Boston. Do you expect to see them again this season?
Man, we'll see, man. That's a good team, well coached. We always have battles, so we'll see.
I love that answer by Hart. If you didn't catch it, rewind it. Last night was the Knicks' 52nd win this season. Those 52 victories for head coach Mike Brown are the most by a Knicks coach in their first season with the franchise. That's more than what Pat Riley did in that 91-92 season. We bring in Brian Windhorst, and we've got Tim and Vince here. Windy, we start with you. Your biggest takeaway from last night's Knicks victory over the Celtics?
Well, this was a high-quality win. The Celtics were coming at them full blast in the second half. And if you're looking for a reason why the Knicks can make a playoff run, it's because of what they can do in clutch situations. I know you saw Hart.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today we are talking about the New York Knicks and their statement win over the Boston Celtics at Madison Square Garden. Jason Tatum returned to the Garden for the first time since his Achilles injury in the playoffs last season. He scored 24 points, but it was not enough. The Knicks won 112-106, and Josh Hart was the hero. The analysts on Get Up are saying this win proves the Knicks can beat the Celtics in a playoff series. Let me break it all down for you. Let me start with the game. Peyton Pritchard was on fire for the Celtics. He hit big shot after big shot. The Celtics took the lead late in the third quarter, but Jalen Brunson would not go away. He leaned in, hit a jumper, tied the game. Then there was Baylor Shireman. The rookie was absolutely incredible. He went 6 for 7 from 3. He kept the Celtics in the game late. Every time the Knicks tried to pull away, Shireman hit another 3. But then came Josh Hart. Down 2, Karl-Anthony Towns hit a deep 3. Then another wide open 3. But the Celtics kept coming back. Knicks down 1. Hart. Knicks up 1. 48 seconds left. Knicks up 2. Who do you go to for the three-point shot? Do not expect it. But it is Josh Hart. He hits the deep 3. And then he was not done. One more. Nail in the coffin. Josh Hart with another deep 3. It was the Josh Hart game. He finished with 26 points, and 15 of those came in the fourth quarter alone. After the game, Josh Hart was asked about his performance. He said, the first half I was ass. So the second half I knew I had to bring it. When asked if he expects to see the Celtics again this season, Hart said, "We will see, man. That is a good team. Well coached. We always have battles. So we will see. I love that answer. No fear. No hesitation. Just respect for the opponent and confidence in his team. Brian Windhorst says his biggest takeaway from last night is that the Knicks can close. He says, this was a high-quality win. The Celtics were coming at them full blast in the second half. And if you are looking for a reason why the Knicks can make a playoff run, it is because of what they can do in clutch situations. It was Brunson who orchestrated it all. And defensively, they were able to get stops on Jason Tatum down the stretch. He did not score at all in the last 8 minutes. He had several fourth-quarter turnovers. The Knicks can look you squarely in the eye and say we can beat the Celtics. They are now 3-1 against them this season. Vince was in the locker room after the game. He says the lack of excitement from the Knicks locker room was telling. They expected to win. He says, we look at this from the outside as if the Knicks should have a fear factor of the Celtics. But the Knicks did beat this team last year in the postseason. And because of Tatum's injury, it kind of clouded the victory. But the Knicks were up 3-1 in that series. They had 2 comeback victories. And they have taken 3 out of 4. The Knicks can close. They can close with Brunson. They can close with Towns on the glass. They can close with Mitchell Robinson on the glass. They have more ways to actually beat you when they play their game, maybe even than the Celtics do. Tim points out that Karl-Anthony Towns was big down the stretch. He says, all year long, what have you as a Knicks fan been waiting for? We have been waiting to see Karl Towns and Jalen Brunson really work well together. Last night was the most on-ball screens and handoffs they have done together this season. Basically the most actions they have done together. Most points they have scored together this season. That is the formula the Knicks are going to need to make a deep playoff run. Jalen Brunson and Karl Towns powering an elite offense. Those guys, as we know, are not great defensive players, but they are 2 of the best defensive players in the league. When they are working like that, the Knicks have a chance. Tim also talks about Josh Hart. He says, this year when Josh Hart is guarded by a center, the Knicks offense has been a top 5 offense in the league. That is a huge difference maker for them. That is what is going to happen in the playoffs. That is what happened last night. Josh Hart hit those 2 big threes down the stretch. That is the formula. Last night's win, that is what the Knicks need to do if they are going to make the deep playoff run they want to. Now, Teamy talk about the Celtics side. Windhorst notes that Jaylen Brown took the game off to rest. Jason Tatum could have taken the game off too, but he actively wanted to get past the demons of coming back to the MSG court. Windhorst says, the Celtics have done a great job developing their role players throughout the season. Baylor Scheierman is another example of it. Really the central question about the Celtics and whether they can win the East is, can those role players like Baylor Scheierman, like Hugo Gonzalez, like Nikola Vucevic deliver in big moments like this in the playoffs? I suspect they walked away from last night's game not feeling too bad about themselves. Tatum handled the situation, got over the emotions. Scheierman can rely on that performance when he is asked to do something like that again in the next couple of weeks. Tim adds, the goal last night was to get Jason Tatum back at Madison Square Garden and feeling good. Because with that win last night, it really does set up a very likely matchup in the second round between the Knicks and the Celtics. The series where Jason Tatum got hurt last year. To get that out of the way last night, to not have it be in the conference semifinals, I think it was a huge thing for Boston. So, who has more juju going into the playoffs? Windhorst says the Celtics have more juju because they have Jason Tatum back now at full Voltron. But Tim says the Knicks discovering Towns and Brunson operating together gives them amaze. You of confidence. He says, we have been asking for that for the last 2 years. When are these guys going to connect? When are they going to display some chemistry? And the Knicks are built in a way to beat the Celtics. They are not built to beat Detroit or any other team. When you have the wings of OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, and Josh Hart, you can defend Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and feel easy about it. That is the key. The Knicks built this team to beat the Celtics. They went and got these wings specifically to defend Tatum and Brown. And it is working. The last 2 games against Atlanta and Boston were the best games that Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns have played all season. That has to be the formula. Those guys killing it on offense. Big in the fourth quarter closing it out. The playoffs are less than 2 weeks away. The Knicks are the 3 seed. The Celtics are the 2 seed. They are on the same side of the bracket. If both teams take care of business in the first round, They will meet in the second round. And if that happens, it is going to be a war. The Knicks have the confidence. The Celtics have the talent. The Knicks have the wings. The Celtics have Tatum and Brown. The Knicks have Hart. The Celtics have Pritchard and Shireman. It is going to be a classic. So here is my question to you in the comments. Can the Knicks beat the Celtics in a 7-game series? And is Josh Hart the X factor for New York? Let me know. I read every single comment. As always, like, subscribe, hit that bell. We are building something special here. I will see you in the next one.